Hey, welcome to Game Dev Weekly, the weekly show where I do game development. And this week it's the 100,000 subscriber... What? It's only 100. So why do people do this? Alright, so this week it's the 100 subscriber special, and this week I've just released Hydroneer to the Patreons. So if you want to be a part of that and play the game, then head over to my Patreon. There's a link down in the description and check it out. So this week I'm going to show you the lead up to releasing Hydroneer in its first version, as well as fixing bugs in the next days after that. At the end of the video I'm also doing my giveaway, so be sure to stick around for that. So I've got a lot to do this week, and I've made a little list just to help me remember everything I've got to do. So this is in order of how I'll do it as well. So first I need to do blocking volumes, which is essentially just borders around the map, invisible walls that players can't go past. Buying land and restrictions, so I haven't actually coded in the bit where players have to buy new pieces of land. I need to actually build the stores. We had that small one, if you remember, from the first and second episode, but that's obviously way too small now, so I really need to just make a new store. Probably a few stores actually, just to put rigs in separate ones and the tools in the others. So behind here you can actually see some water, but this isn't actually water that a player can use. I have a separate object that I put underneath this that allows the player to use it in either fishing or for pumping water out of it. I need to also make the main menu. I've got a good idea about how I can again avoid making more UI. The whole project I'm trying to use as little UI as possible. I've got a pretty good idea how I'll do that. Then I got to do packaging, where I package it all up into a small little project that I can then upload and send to all the Patreons. So that's what I'm going to do this week. So here I'm just placing down some collision volumes. These are the invisible borders around the map. This is important so the player doesn't actually roam around and fall off the side of the map and maybe going into any areas that I don't want players going into. Right now it's in the player collision view mode, so that means everything's really pink and blue. Makes it a little bit easier when placing these down. So I'm going to start by creating a store here, and I'm going to remove all this foliage and also flatten the terrain a bit. Then I'm going to start adding some buildings in and getting the layout of the store. What's really important is the store's big enough to actually swing objects about, but it's not too big that it just feels empty and boring. I also make enough room for some tables and shelving, and then also I just kind of add in the buildings to kind of encase it. When you're in a store, if you try and move an object outside of the store, it automatically deletes that item, so I kind of wanted to have the store encased over all the items that it's selling. And then lastly, you can see here the finished product. When this thing's actually finished, I added in quite a lot of nice lighting effects too. Just spent a couple days working on the saving and loading system. The reason it took so long is I wanted to basically optimize the save files the best way possible. Saving and loading when you've got a lot of objects in the world may even take a few milliseconds. And I really wanted to cut that down, so spending a lot of time optimizing the data structures for saving and loading was something I wanted to do. Anyway, so I've just finished the saving and loading, so now if I buy the parcel, so that's me buying it, I got a pickaxe here that I just spawned in, and I can dig some ground just to show you guys. So this, for reference, this is the second parcel that you come to. So now that's finished, I'm gonna just leave my pickaxe right here. You can see there's the holes over there. I'll just save, and now I'm going to restart. Alright, so then when I make the menu system, there'll be an option to either make a new game or load. So I'm just going to load up now. So there we go. So it actually teleported me back to where I was before I loaded up, and you can see there's this pickaxe that I dropped over here. This is the one that I just spawned in with the level, so there's going to be two. And here's the holes that I dug. So now that everything else is working here, I'm going to start working on the main menu system. So after finishing saving and loading, I started working on the main menu system. So what I really wanted to have here is the player starts in the world looking over a good portion of the map. And what's really nice about this is the game's actually already loaded in. So that means when I start a new game or continue, all I need to do is load up the save file or start a new game. So what we've got here, so starting at the bottom, I made like a exit button, Discord link. So if you click this, it'll take you straight to the Discord server, as well as a settings menu, which I haven't actually implemented yet. I'll do that later on. And then we've got credits. This is where the Patreon supporters will be listed as well. If you've supported at least one time to the $10 tier, then you'll be under the top supporters. and then everyone else will be listed just below. The future updates, I wanted to keep this quite brief. I didn't want to put any dates in here or anything, but there's a few examples of things that I want to add into the game. Then we've got patch notes, so every time I update this, I'll put the patch notes in here. And then I've just got continue a new game. So if I start a new game, what it'll do is just ask me if I want to confirm, and then it'll move me to the new game position. There you go. The same thing will happen if you continue. It'll move you to your last location. And here I am on the first starting parcel. Next thing I'm going to do is basically just play the entire game. I've added in all the systems I want for the base game. We've also got a little help menu, just some brief explanations about the game, as well as a escape menu. And in this I added in an unstuck, so that means if a player gets stuck somewhere, instead of having to create an entire new save, I've just put this little button here so you can just spawn. It spawns you kind of just outside of wherever you're digging. It's been a few days since my last clip, and that's just because I've been fixing so many bugs. I had some really interesting ones that I did actually want to record and show for you guys, but the time really wasn't there. I've just been struggling to get this 0.1.3 patch out for the Patreons just before Monday, because then Monday when the video goes live I'd rather have a bit more of a stable game. But next week I got some really interesting stuff I'm going to show you guys. If you do want to play Hydroneer, then head over to the Patreon. The minimum tier to play the game is $2, and you'll get all the updates in that entire month for $2. Thanks for supporting, guys. It really does mean a lot. If you like and subscribe, that would be awesome. I'm so glad I hit 100 subscribers. I know it's not a lot, but to me it's a big milestone. Just going to round out the show with a sound clip that I made earlier. I couldn't find a place to put it in the video, so I think I'll just throw it at the end, but I hope you enjoy. So thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next week.